Adam, really looking forward to you telling us about this prototype 1963 Mustang. Could you please?
Well, thanks, Mark. This is the 1963 prototype. This was the second prototype that Ford made. This is the first car that actually started to look like what we now know as the iconic 65 Mustang. It has the side scoop that comes through with the false vents on the back, 5-lode wheels. This car in particular has a lowered top. It started off as a hard top, and in the design process, they chopped the top, lowered the roofline by 4 inches, and put a removable fiberglass top on, which is very rare for any Mustang.
You were mentioning something about the seats, particularly in the back, Adam. You made the reference to the Thunderbird and how the logo in the Thunderbird is very similar to this prototype. Can you talk about that a bit?
Well, yes. The rear, the upholstery styling of the 2 bucket seats in the back was popular of the 60s style Thunderbird, but the logo itself is a slightly more stylized horse. This was only used on the first 2 prototypes. The production cars had the Mustang logo that you still see today.
Incredible. And what about the dash and the seats and all of the complements of the interior as well? Can we open the door for that?
Sure. Well, the interior is a solid molded piece of fiberglass that forms the basis of the interior. All leather seats, buckets in the front and the rear. Has a 4-speed automatic, or sorry, 4-speed manual transmission.
And that's coupled with you were saying a 289 small block V8.
Right.
And 2-barrel carb?
Initially it had a 2-barrel carburetor. In 1967, Ford took this car out and used it as an experimental vehicle. So it has sort of a prototype dual 4-barrel setup on it now.
I wondered if we could just walk around and have a look at the body as well, Adam. A few things that, just for our viewers today, and you come around and you have a look at the back of this car, you'll notice the absence of bumpers on this car. Could you explain with prototypes what that's all about and the reason why you wouldn't have a bumper on a car in a prototype?
A lot of the reason is just so you can see the lines of the car better. Bumpers were a functional item, so a lot of things that are functional on a production car, you wouldn't necessarily see on a prototype car. So it wasn't too uncommon to have engines that didn't work. For instance, this car registers still as having 0 miles, but it's been driven because the odometer's never been hooked up on it.
Wow. Now, what I really noticed about this is the lights appear to be sort of the later version of the Ford Mustang, more like the 67, 68 lights where they had the curved back on it, were similar to this. And you know, 4 years before that, we're looking at a similar style of light. Can you explain that?
Well, just like we had a little bit of the Thunderbird cues in this car, it wasn't uncommon for designers to reuse past ideas. So this was the first time that this particular taillight was used, and obviously some designer liked it for the later 60s style Mustang and kind of reinvented a version of that into the production car.
The other cool thing is the gas cap too, and even today in our Mustangs today, they still have that gas cap in the same location, don't they?
Right. This is actually not the gas cap that came initially with the car. That was missing when we acquired the car from Ford in 1975.
Oh, really?
So this is, just as a replacement that would actually work.
But it still is where the gas access is in this part of the car as well.
Right.
And the absence of any sort of key lock for the trunk. How do you get the trunk open?
It has an electronic open and electronic button in the front to open the trunk.
So again, prototype, they're missing a few items.
Absolutely.
I'd like to walk around the front because we want to comment to our viewers a little bit about the bumpers and the lack of that and how this is similar to the Thunderbird as well. I noticed, Adam, the similarities to the Thunderbird with the front end, yet you still have the full Mustang grille and the Mustang logo there in front. Could you comment to our viewers about that, please?
Well, without a doubt, one of the first recognizable differences in this car with any of the production Mustangs is the front end. This bullet shape, the sort of the grille look over the headlights, and of course the more bullet-shaped nose cone that comes out. This was the first prototype that had a front grille, so this is actually the first pony emblem that was on a front grille. It's about 1.5 inches longer than the production in 1965.
Really incredible, really incredible. But the lines are very similar to even the Mustangs that were in the early 60s and late 60s as well. How about the Bullitt mirrors that are mounted on the fenders?
This was a design cue from the very first prototype, the Mustang 1. They're not very functional, having driven this car, but It is kind of a neat look. Obviously, that was something that did not make it into the production line.
And then these vents that we have in the front, they're functional vents,
Yes.
are they as well?
Yes.
For ventilation to the engine to help dissipate the heat? Is that the
Right.
purpose behind them? So that hasn't changed. Absence of washer squirters as
Right.
well.
No
So there's
washer
no
squirters.
washer squirters on this, but you do have the wipers. That's the other thing I picked up. And no emblem or no sticker on the front hood as well.
Initially, it had the FORD Ford across the front of the hood, but that was also missing when we acquired the car in 1975.
Tell us about the paint quality too. You noticed all of the checking and cracking in the paint. Is this an original paint as far as you know, or has it been painted?
This car is completely original. Again, as we received it from Ford Motor Company in 1975. Nothing has been rechromed, nothing has been repainted, nothing has been recoated. The only thing we've done is kept it clean.
Okay, Adam, I'd like to just walk back here and first of all make note of the lowered roof line with the removable top, which is not something that is standard today.
No.
A very, very unique feature of this vehicle.
Absolutely.
The wheels and the spinners, they're also a very interesting piece. Can you talk about those?
These were custom-made wheels, 5-lug aluminum, and of course the spinners with the Mustang 2 logo on it. Custom made just for this vehicle, never produced again.
Adam, I have to ask you, what's it like to drive this vehicle? You have driven this car.
We do drive it on and off the trailer when we go to shows like this, and it's one of the biggest thrills I've ever had.
Can you explain it? What's the passion behind that?
Just the sound of the engine, just knowing that you're in a one-of-a-kind prototype car, one of the most recognizable cars on the face of the planet, the Mustang, and it's truly a joy, you know, having my job to take care of this and all the artifacts.
Given that this is the
Historical
50th
Society.
anniversary of the Ford Mustang, this is very, very special to have this prototype here at Cobble Beach. And we'd like to just find out a little bit more about the Detroit Auto Museum. Could you please tell us about that?
Sure. The Detroit Historical Society is, we operate the Detroit Historical Museum. We have about 70 vehicles in our collection, including the prototype Mustang. And we're located in Detroit on Woodward Avenue in the Cultural District.
How do we get in touch with you? Email, phone number, if we'd like to go down and visit it.
You can always check out our website, detroithistorical.org, and everyone's contact information is there, as well as our open hours and special events.
Adam, just want to say thank you very much on behalf of Georgian Bay Classics, being with you here at Cobble Beach and being here with this fabulous Mustang.
Mark, it's been a pleasure. Thanks.
Thanks again.